All right, George, how's things on? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm all good, thank you. All good, all good. Thanks for jumping on, mate. Thanks for jumping on. Pretty much going to go over your sort of success recently inside the community, inside Syndicate Setter, Capital Closer. Sort of gone for, I think recently it was the previous month. It was May, right, where you smashed just over 10K as a setter, strictly from phone setting. Is that right?
It was June. It was June.
It was in June. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. May, I think I did about six or seven, but I only
Okay.
worked for 2 weeks.
Oh wow. So you worked for 2 weeks, hit 7K in May, and then July. Sorry, June. You worked the whole month and managed to smash through that 10K mark. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Lovely stuff. Well, look, we'll sort of go over that, how that looks for you, the offer you're sort of on, the process and take you to get there. But first of all, pretty much want to start off just so everyone understands a little bit about you, a little bit more about you. It is more so to just tell everyone who you are, where you come from, a bit about more yourself. Just give a little background about you.
Cool. So my name's George McBain. I'm 23 years old. I'm from Peterborough near Cambridge in the UK. And what I was doing before remote sales, I had another corporate sales job, which was it was actually selling property investment training. So it was already in the selling information space. They held a lot of in-person events where I live, run by quite a big entrepreneur. I really did enjoy that job at first. Like I really liked working there. I liked learning about stuff like property and business, and I was getting mentored by, some really successful entrepreneurs, and I was really grateful for that. But it got to the point after like 2 years where I just thought like, is this really it? Like, is this all that life has to offer? I'm making okay money, like 2.5 grand after tax, and I thought like I'm gonna get a pay rise. I'm gonna do more. Like this is gonna get better, and it just sort of stayed the same. So when I was like 20 and I first got the job, and it was like my first proper job, I was gassed, like thinking, I'm making good money, I'm doing well for myself, and it just got to a point where I suppose by the start of 2025, where I just felt like, is this it? Like this isn't what's actually meant for me. Like, doing this is never gonna get me to where I actually want to be in life, and I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, and there were so many different things that I looked at, like your classic trading, e-commerce, um, even things like crypto, stocks, like studying everything to try and almost like find that one thing that's actually going to work for me. And I suppose it got to a point where I was just miserable. Like I was in that corporate environment, coming in at 9, leaving at 5:30, like the same thing, the same faces, like constantly just eating terrible food, like put on loads of weight, was depressed. And, I knew that something had to change. And then somebody I knew from when I went to uni called Jensen, he messaged me and told me about what you guys were doing within Capital Closer and Syndicate Setter. And I'd heard of high ticket sales, and someone that I worked with, like in my job, they actually left the job to pursue high ticket sales as well because they knew some people that were doing it. And I thought to myself, like, this is the most sort of closest to home thing I've seen with proof of concept and building an existing skill set. So I ended up reaching out to the team, and I had a conversation. I jumped on a call, and then yeah, I ended up making the decision to go in.
Okay, nice, nice. And that sort of led us to today. I mean, there's a lot to unravel there. So you were at the corporate job. You thought you were doing well for what you were doing. Very happy with what you were doing. But I think as time probably went by, and I think a lot of people could probably relate to that. You come in, you have the fairy tale phase where you love it. It's great. You're in a corporate. You're wearing a suit. You're going into the office. You're still working the hours, but comes to a point 2, 3 years down the line where you're like, well, I joined 2 years ago. I got promised the world, and I'm still in the exact same position, seeing the exact same faces. I'm doing the exact same thing, and it's like, well, is this the life that I really want to live? And I think a lot of people have to make that decision for themselves. It's like, well, yeah, you come in and you carry on doing what you're doing. And, in 20, 30 years time, yeah, you might make good money. But it's like, do you want to be there in 20, 30 years time? Or do you want to sort of do something of your life now when you are young, when you have got the time, when you have, you're still happy, you're still healthy and you have got that freedom. But I'd be sort of keen to understand a little bit more about that corporate role before we jump into more of the high ticket side of things. How does
Yeah.
your sort of day to day look? Because I know obviously everyone's day to day looks very, very different in a sense of like, what did your day to day actually look like on a Monday? What time are you coming in? How did it look like? Was it the same one day task? Did you do things differently, or how did it look?
Yeah. So wake up, it's like 7 a.m., like get ready, have some food, drive over to the office. It's about like 10-15 minute drive. I know a lot of people like have a lot worse commutes, but like even just driving like in the morning when everything's busy, like so annoying, like getting stuck in traffic, roads getting shut off, trying to rush to work so you don't get any shit from your boss. Like it's just like not the life you really want to have. So I then get into work. The first thing that we would do is we'd have like a team meeting for half an hour, go through what the tasks would be for that day. Most of the time, the tasks would be the same, but because we ran different events and there was different leads for different things. Like it would really just be going through like a workflow of what we'd be doing that day. So then throughout the morning, have, you know, usually 2-3 hours of just like dialing, um, calling all the new leads first, then going through some of the older leads that hadn't been contacted, um, just to really upsell them onto coming to the events, get them booked on, because obviously they're in person. And then a lot of the time we'd have like a training with the owner of the company. That's one thing that I can say was really good about that job, was there was a lot of really high level sales training, mindset training, and like personal development training while being there. Like the owner of the company would put a lot of time into making us better and teaching us. So that was something that was actually really good about the role. Um, then in the afternoon, come back to the office, smash out loads of calls, try and finish the day on like a few sales, get good talk time because there was sometimes incentives. Um, and then what I'd do, 5:30, leave work, go straight to the gym. The gym's absolutely packed. That's another thing that I really hate. Like going to a packed gym straight after work, like just not even wanting to be there, like wanting to just go home. Um, so yeah, just that cycle and that routine, like it wasn't the one.
I think a lot of people can probably relate to that. It's like you can't. I mean, you probably can relate to it now and do make that switch. It's like it's probably like not much different. Well, it is probably a lot different to you now, but it's like you can actually live life on your own terms now. It's like if you want to go gym at 2 p.m., I can go gym at 2 p.m. And there's no one breathing on my shoulder saying I have to be inside somewhere at a certain time. If you want to go make a dollar this time, you can. If you want to go gym at this time, you can. But I'll be keen to understand, Jude. I mean, you said you even said it yourself. The job wasn't all that bad for you. You had the training from the owner of the company. You had really high sales training. A lot of people there were very qualified. You did enjoy it for the most part. So where was the specific moment where you thought, do you know what, this isn't clicking for me anymore? I do not want it. Because I know you mentioned a minute ago you were making about 2.5 grand a month, which for you at this the younger age was probably enough. You were living at home and everything like that. So that probably was an issue. But where was the actual moment for you where you realized, like, do you know what? This isn't cutting anymore. I have to do something about it.
True, if I'm like brutally transparent right now, like I always knew that that wasn't going to be the end point for myself. Like ever since being very, very young, I've had like a lot of ambition in life, wanted to do really, really well, and really be, I guess, like in a sense, they say online, like financially free, um, and living life on my own terms. And I always knew that I would get to that point. I never ever doubted myself. But along that journey of being in that corporate role, like, I was depressed because I felt like I'd almost steered away from my dreams almost. So I
Yeah, no,
knew
no.
So I guess at the start of 2025, I realized like something does need to change. Like I need to find or I need to do something else. And then it was back in November when I actually took action. I hadn't ever done any like calls or anything like that with any sort of mentorships. And I'll be honest, I had a really bad limiting belief about mentorships because I was in such a massive company that sold mentorship and sold courses. And me being the person who was like dealing with all of these people calling into the office complaining about the courses, I suppose I had that limiting belief of like, what if this doesn't work or what if it's not real? And
Of
that was
course.
like a massive one for me. And I suppose it just comes from that like I guess fear, but then that comes from like a scarcity mindset.
That gets drilled into you through people in the office, you know, because at the end of the day, you are the product of your own environment. If you are in the office every single day and you've got guys like 40, 50, 60 years old that have been at the company 20, 30 years, then yeah, you're only going to be the product of your own environment. You're never going to know anything better. You won't know, oh, is this good? Is it not? You know, and especially with your instance where you were the person selling the programs and everything, it's like, well, yeah, you weren't ever the one actually delivering it. So it's like you were just doing a sales part of it, but you were never actually doing the delivery part of it. And it's where it's such a big like company and that it's probably not too keen on getting people results, you know. But this is sort of leads me on to my next question, which I was going to ask you. In a sense of you thinking about that limited belief that you had, what sort of, you know, I know you said you knew Jensen inside. Obviously, Jensen's killing it, making 10, 15, 20K a month now as well. Through the closing side of things, which is our partner brand. But yeah, that's a different story. But obviously, you come through him, you knew him personally, you had a limiting belief. What was your first reaction when you saw it? Like, be honest, and what sort of made you actually, you know, come over that fact? Was Jensen objection handling you, or did you sort of come to the conclusion that like if nothing's going to change, then nothing's going to change?
That's a good question. That's a really, really good question. So I guess in the end, I thought like, fuck it. Like if I do this, I'm gonna give 110% to it. If it's not real and it doesn't work out, at least I can say I fucking tried. Do you know what I mean? At least
Exactly. I always like to say and go back to the exact same thing. It's like at the end of the day, right? You've got that corporate experience now. You've got that company experience. So you've been at that job for a while now. If you let's say you did join and everything went, you know, everything went tits up, everything went to shit. Your worst case scenario is going to be someone's best case. You know, you come away from a mentorship, learning a few new things, and you just go back to the same corporate job that you would have been working anyway. But at least you come out of that knowing that you've tried. And it's like I've always tried to drill that into people saying, now, look, your worst case scenario where we live in a first world country, we've got all the opportunities in the world, you can go land a job whenever you want, literally within a day. It's like your worst case scenario, if everything goes to terribly and nothing works out, is going to be someone's best case scenario, working the same job and everything like that, which is why I think a lot of people need, like, it's a lot of, I'm assuming it's the same for you, you know, it's like that was probably the main thing that you allowed yourself to overcome that sort of limiting belief with, right?
yeah, for sure. I just thought like, fuck it. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna make the best out of the situation. And I think that really is like the mindset that you need to be in because I feel like a lot of that skepticism from being in that corporate job of doing something else like this is like it's almost like people are telling themselves that they're comfortable and they're okay in their own darkness in a way. It's like they're like, oh, there's not these people that are making 10, 15, 20K a month online, you know, from the comfort of their own home or from look at where you are in Ibiza right now. I've just been out in Spain for like 3 months, just been on another holiday to Spain last week, able to work and do what I want. I suppose it's just the people that are like naysayers and like a bit hateful that they're just like miserable in their own situation and they they don't actually want to make a change, you know. And if you are like one of those people, just realize like, is that really what you actually want for yourself? Or do you actually want to make a change and start living the life that you want? Because if you're open to actually looking into that and exploring the option, if you put enough hard work in, like you will get the results. I don't know anyone who's been inside the program of either Syndicate Setter or Capital Closer that's given it 110%, done more than everyone else, put more hours in, dedicated more, sacrificed more, and failed. Like it's just not happened.
Yeah, exactly, and it's good coming from yourself. I mean, look, it's easy for me to say that because I'm the person sort of coaching everyone, everything like that. So it's easy for me to say that, but it's good to someone comes through that's come through the program. I mean, the number one good thing about this industry and our industry particularly is that it genuinely is you versus you. It's what you put in is what you get out, and it's not just me saying that for the sake of saying it or just for the sake of the camera being on or anything like that. But it genuinely is the case that like whatever you put in, if you come in and put 110% effort in, is you cannot fail. You know, I always say to some of the students aside, they might not get, you know, as fortunate on some of the interviews they go on or something like that. But it's always a case of like, as soon as you go into it and you just don't stop trying, you carry on applying, you carry on doing the mock exams, you carry on training, you learning, it will work out. It's not like trading where it's, you know, you've got an ending pool of money where, you know, you trade over 10K. Once that 10K is gone, you're fucked. It's not that, you know, it's more of a case you learn the skill, you get really good at the skill, and you can now transfer that skill into everything else that you want to do, whether it's in the online space, or whether it's in this space. But I mean, that brings me on to my next question quite well. I mean, earlier in the sort of interview we had here, you did mention you did try a few different things. I know you said you tried a bit of trading, a bit of e-com and everything. I mean, talk me through a little bit more of that. I mean, what did you try? Why did you sort of not pursue those things? Why did they not go well? And what sort of led you to the path of being like, do you know what, remote sales, high ticket sales is the thing for me?
Yeah, it's a great question. I would say, truthfully, those things could have been for me. I'm not saying that they couldn't. I would say that at that point in time, I just didn't know what it took to actually succeed through doing something like that. Like, I wouldn't take it seriously enough. I never invested in myself. And I didn't actually put anything into actually getting the right skills to do it. You know, it would be maybe spending 10, 20 hours watching YouTube about something and just never getting anywhere with it. So
Mm.
I think the biggest thing is actually investing in yourself, making a commitment to you that you want to do something, and then I think just getting absolutely obsessed with it. At the end of the day, if you want to be a top performer, you're going to have to put more hours in, you're going to have to sacrifice more than everyone else. And I think that's something that people don't understand. Like, if you're the sort of person that wants to spend a couple hours a week doing something, like, this might not actually be for you. Like, this game is for people who are competitive, that actually want to put as many hours in as possible, that care about leaderboards, that want to win, and that are absolutely obsessed. And, you know, if you're willing to put in the work to get to that point, you know, I know so many people that are in the program that are still in their 9 to 5s, that have been, you know, waking up, some people that didn't have corporate sales background, waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to work a job on site, getting home at 5, 6 p.m., and then they're working doing remote sales again till 2 o'clock in the morning, 1, 2 a.m. in the morning, you know, for months and months, having 2 to 3 hours of sleep. And then, you know, that's the same person that you'll see that's hitting 20, 30 grand a month every month consistently. And you just ask the question, like, why is that? It's because they've put in the work, they've made the sacrifice to actually get to that point. They've, like you say, like, they've burnt the boats.
No, I fully agree with you. I 100% agree. I think I mean, Bashi is prime example of that. You know, he was, I think, until about a month ago, he was clearing consistent 10K months, and he was still at 9 to 5. You know, he told me, he messaged me one time. He wakes up at 4:30 in the morning. He was doing dials from his car because his family was still asleep. You know, and that's sort of obsession that you need to start making those numbers. And everyone I speak to that comes on board, I always mention it's never going to be an easy ride. You know, but same thing is like nothing like that's worth having in life is going to be easy. You know, and I do mention that to every single person. I mean, nothing that you ever want in life, whether it's, you know, I'm not going to go into specifics, but anything that you want is never going to be worth having, right? But I mean, I wrote a little thing down here. I mean, with sort of the thing you were saying about trading could have worked, ecom could have worked. Yeah, I fully agree with that. You know, everything works, and I could not, I believe in that 110%, right? What I always say to everyone is you need to make a choice and just make it the right one. You know, you can't be like, oh, I don't know if it's the right choice. I did trading, not ecom. Everything works. Everyone can make money in any way, shape, or form, right? But it's more of a case of you want to make a choice and then make it the right one and then just stick with it until it clicks, you know, because everything's going to click over time as long as you put enough time and effort into it. You just got to make it the right choice. But I mean, enough about that. More so now talking about the actual community, the program, and everything like that. talk me through sort of your first week inside the program. Don't speak too much detail, but how did you sort of feel going into it? Because I'm assuming a lot of people that come into to when we speak get a little bit like overwhelmed of how much information there is. There's over 150 lessons. I mean, you can get a little bit overwhelmed with how much information there is, especially coming from a completely different background.
Yeah, I mean, I think even when I jumped inside, like at that point, I was still skeptical. And do you know what it was?
Go on.
Like having Discord notifications on my phone of the deals closed channel just constantly going off, and I'm like, oh my God, like,
It clicks for you, doesn't it? It does click in your head
yeah,
because you realize that these people aren't any different to you, especially when you start having conversations with them. Like, oh, hey man, how's it going? What offer are you on? And things like that. That's when it really starts clicking in your head. Like, oh shit, like this guy's no different to me, and he's making 15K, 20K a month. Like, what's he doing that I'm not? And they really start pushing, really pushing you on. But I mean, like you said yourself, you've been in the space for a while now. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. I mean, when did things really start clicking for you? I mean, what was that thing that clicked for you? Because I know obviously you tried a few offers, didn't work out too well. I know you said in May you hit 6K on that offer that you won, the really, really good one you're on now. Help me understand, what was the main moving thing that actually clicked and made you, progress in the space the most?
I genuinely think it is the offer that you're on. 110%. It is just the offer that you're on. So with my remote sales journey, I started in November. I spent about the first month or so learning, getting really good at the skills, getting to grips with everything. And then because I was like not very well educated in the space, I was applying for a lot of different offers, and I was just like really excited to get on my first offer because I still think it's because of having that scarcity mindset still at that point that I was worried, like, what if I don't get a good offer? What if I don't get another opportunity? And that made me waste some time on some opportunities that weren't necessarily worth it. But I still knew that when that good offer comes, it's going to be the thing that does change my life completely. So I decided at the end of January, after following the space, being on some not as good offers, still made some okay money here and there alongside my 9 to 5. I think at that point I was like, I need to quit my job. I need to go all in. That's the thing that's going to change. Like if I can dedicate 10, 12 hours a day to this, it's going to pay me what my job does a million times over, and it's going to change my life. So I had a meeting with my old sales manager, got on with him really well. And I told him I'm handing in my month's notice. I'm going to actually go over to Spain where my family live, have a nice like villa out there in the mountains and really quiet and secluded. So I said I was going to go over there for a few months to lock in, make this work, sacrifice seeing a lot of my friends and doing the things that I wanted to do. But I knew that was the thing that needed to happen for me to change my life and make things work. And for the first like month or so that I was out there, I was on a little bit of a better offer, but it still wasn't very good. I was earning anywhere from 2 to 3,000 euros a month, so not a lot. But I was working 7 days a week, like 10 hours a day. And the one thing that I will say is I don't regret any of that because that has built me a fucking good work ethic, like a very good work ethic. So with that work ethic now, applying that to the offer I'm on that, I joined in May, like I'm absolutely killing it. I'm the top performer on the SDR team at the moment. And, I've got no chance of slowing down. I want to consistently maintain that top place. And, I don't even know what the records are in terms of results for closed deals on that offer, but I want to smash that. That's like be a big achievement for me.
Yeah, no doubt you're going to get to that, 15, 20K a month, especially this month, next month, and what you're pacing right now. We'll touch into the numbers in just a moment after this question, but I was pretty curious to know. I know you mentioned there about the training and everything. You mentioned at your previous corporate role, you had the main benefit and the main good part about your job that you really enjoyed was the training and how good it was, how hands-on it was, the people you were with, like how much experience they had and stuff like that. What was the training like inside, the community Syndicate Setter Capital Closer compared to what, the corporate side of it was? I know you mentioned how good the corporate side was, how much it helped you. How good was the training? What did you sort of expect? Did you expect it good enough? Was it not good enough? Was it better? Was it worse than what you saw inside the community?
No, the community a million times better. Of course, the community was like 10 million times better. The amount of work that you and Connor have put in to make the community as good as it is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you know, coaching calls like 5 times a week, five times a week. I was on the coaching calls, um, getting feedback, getting help, learning new skills. I was able to review and watch other people's calls. I, went through 150 hours worth of modules. There's no training like that in any corporate role. The training in the corporate role, it was really good, but it'd maybe be an hour or 2 hours, maybe a week. And while that is still useful and beneficial, having as much resources as you do from the team in Capital Closer, there's something to participate in every day, you know. And from some of the top people in there that are making 20, 30, 40K a month, you can actively look at their call recordings. And, if you're that right type of person who is obsessed and who actually wants to make something with remote sales, you will listen to those people's calls and you will take notes and you will find good things that they've done in the call and you'll replicate that. You know, being a closer and being good at sales, it's not reinventing the wheel. There's, many techniques that have worked for a long time. So it's just really getting to grips with those, really getting bang on with the skills, and I think just applying yourself and putting in as many hours as you can.
No, 100%. I'm glad you sort of mentioned that with the thing. We try and make it, as easy as possible inside the community. We give you everything you need, sort of thing. It's sort of like a handheld process until you do get on that road and start making 10, 15K a month, which is the whole idea of it. You come in and we want to make it as easy, as fast as possible for everyone to come in and genuinely get results. And I mean, glad you said that exactly how you sort of said it there. But I mean, I want to talk more into the numbers now, right? Talk me through them. Talk me through it. Well, talk me through the numbers, start to finish. Your worst month, best months, timings, your biggest deal, lowest deal. Hit me with all of it.
All right, that's good. So, um, started off the first deal I closed was for someone that I'm actually friends with now. So we actually became friends, but he does trading and he has a trading community. Um, Basically just reached out to him on Instagram, um, and said about that I was doing closing, remote sales, and was he looking for any salespeople for his mentorship? And he said, yeah, let's jump on a call. I sent him like a Loom video so he could understand a bit more about me. Really, really powerful. Then I remember I had the call with someone and like just the feeling I had on that call, like when I switched his mindset and his beliefs, and I genuinely knew like I'm going to change this guy's life. Like this conversation has actually been life changing for this person. And I think when
And you
you
don't
have,
realize that until you are on that call with the person, whether you're setting them or closing them. I mean, that's the main thing. You're able to identity shift people and really open their eyes, because a lot of people are able to do a lot more than they think they can. A lot of people really limit themselves to their environments. Their environment. I mean, you are a product of your environment. So people around you are very small minded and thinking very small. You're going to be the same, and it's nothing against anyone that's doing that, but it's just how it works. It's just how a human works. And I mean, as soon as you sort of get on the call with someone like a closer or a setter, and you really start getting your identity shifted and you start understanding things a little bit more like that, it really does open your eyes to how much more there is available, especially if you are selling a really good product, which most products in the space are. They genuinely can be doing life-changing things for people. But I mean, talk me more through the month of sort of May and then June. Yeah, I know you hit 6K in May, and then June you cleared that big 10K mark, just strictly from setting. I mean, talk me through that. What sort of deal sizes were you running and everything like that?
yeah, so $36,000 deal size B2B. Um, yeah, doing organic social media growth. So yeah, really, really solid offer. First came onto the offer in May, as I said. It was like it is a cool process of coming on that offer. There's no like interview, it's just a trial period. And the thing that I love about that is like it really shows like who are the dogs and who aren't. Because like I've seen a couple people that would like join the offer and like be messaging me and like I could just feel negativity coming from them. They're like moaning about the leads, moaning about this. Next day, gone. Didn't pass the trial. I think that's so good because it creates a competitive environment of winners. And, you know, because I really think that having even like one or two people on a team that are moaning and complaining, like it just brings the whole vibe down for everyone. Not so much
Yeah.
in a remote environment because you're working by yourself. But if you're in a corporate office and there's a bad vibe or negativity, like it really spreads through the whole room. So yeah, May started halfway through May on the offer, cleared 6K in 2 weeks, and yeah, it was fantastic. Like when I first started seeing how quick the commission was adding up, like I just doubled down and pushed harder. I remember, you know, two deals that were worth like $500 each came through in one day. And I was like, right, like next month, I need to hit the 10K. I was like, next month, I need to hit that 10K. Like, it was so important to me. So from the first days of June, even Saturday and Sunday, I was working like 12 hours a day.
And do you think that's because you saw the possibility of how much you were making? I mean, you said you were doing 36K deal size, meaning you make 1,800 per deal. I mean, do you reckon that's the case? That you saw, well, look, in 2 weeks I did just over 6K in commissions. Then if I just do more and for longer, I'm going to make 10K no matter what. Was that sort of the main driving factor for you?
Yeah, yeah. It was like, I guess it was just like, I want to see how far I can take this. If I keep putting in the work, keep smashing it, doing the things I need to do, like how much can I make on this offer? And I would say
Mm,
that last month wasn't a particularly good month either.
at 10K.
And 10K. So
How did it feel landing in your account? Because I know it's a bit of a jump then than the two and a half
no,
to
I
grand that
know.
you were getting paid.
Funnily enough, it actually hasn't yet. It's actually coming at some point this week.
Okay. Oh, because it's a US transfer, right?
Yeah, yeah, and because it's um I don't know, because it's quite a big offer with a lot of staff. They
Yeah.
spent the first week of the month just calculating all the commissions because obviously it's same month commissions. Um, so yeah, a week, then they send the payments, and then a
And
few
then they
days come
process.
through. Yeah, yeah.
What's the first sort of thing where you're going to be getting? So now I see that shiny watch on the wrist. I know you've already bought that. What's the next sort of thing?
Um, that's a good question. I think maybe get my teeth done. That's one.
Nice. Nice.
Um,
Go for the final boss look. I don't mind it. I don't
yeah,
mind
yeah.
it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think get my teeth done is one that I want to do, and in September I want to go out to Marbella again, for a few days just to lock in and work, and I do also want to go to Ibiza as well for a while, for like a week or so.
Yeah, no work's going to be getting done in that beach. I'll tell you that
Yeah,
for
I don't
free.
know if I'll even last a week. It might have to be like four
No, no,
nights.
no. 4 nights, leave the laptop at home. I think that would be your best bet there. I'm not going to lie, but I mean, look, that's pretty much it from me. I've got one final question for you, and that's pretty much to wrap everything up here. Mainly, if you were looking back here to the George that was still in the corporate office, to anyone that's sort of watching this, because it's going to get a fair few views. Anyone that's sort of watching this, listen to this, probably going to be in a very similar boat to yourself, where they're limiting belief. Is it real? Is it not? Do I play it safe? Do I carry on with a corporate role? Whatever. What's one bit of advice you have to someone that is in and R in thinking, do I get into it? Do I not get into it? Do you know what I mean? Like, what's one bit of advice you have?
John got me to go deep with it.
Keep it deep and surface level. Keep it nice and short, but get straight into it.
Do you know what? Think about it. Like, life is going to be over one day. Think about when you're on your deathbed. Like, do you really want to have all those regrets of the things that you didn't do? Do you want to be that guy that's like, oh, I played it safe, I just worked my job? Or do you want to be the person that actually went out, tried to conquer, did everything, and really tried their hardest in everything they do? And I think you want to be that guy that tried and succeeded, essentially. So I'd say if you're on the fence about doing it, just do it. Like, what's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work for you. You can make it work for you if you just put in the hours. I don't know.
I agree.
As I said before, I don't know anyone in the mentorship that's not made it work, that's put in enough hours. And I've seen people make it work who haven't even put in like that many hours.
No,
So
no, I think I fully agree with you. I think it goes back to the 2 points that I said earlier. You know, you make a choice and then you make it the right one. And at the end of the day, no matter what happens in life, your worst case scenario, whatever happens, is going to be someone's best case, still going back to the exact same job, doing the exact same thing. And now I think that's a lot of people need to have that reality shift and like, look, no matter what happens, how bad things get, you're still going to be probably doing better off than most people that didn't even try. You know, you've got more skills in it. Arsenal, you've tried, you've opened your mindset, you can do the next thing. But look, George, thank you so much for jumping on, mate. We're going to see you probably in another interview in about, what, a couple of weeks' time when you're at 15, 20K a month. Is that about right?
yeah, I want the Navy activewear set. That's the next
Uh,
one.
it's coming, mate. It's coming. 15K a month. Then we're going to get 20. And then we'll sort of jump on another one of these and talk through how that went from where you are at 10 to 15, 20.
Yeah, I'm telling you, mate. I want that Navy activewear set, the
It's coming,
15K
mate. It's
one.
coming.
Yeah,
It's coming.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right, mate. Well, look, thank you for jumping on. And we'll speak soon. Yeah? Take care.
Nice one. Thank you, bro.